Hey guys, um, back in the basement yet again. Another bike video. I was thinking the other night. Okay, great. Let's just go ahead and have handlebars like that then. I was thinking the other night. I was hoping that it was jetting that was the cause of my bike not wanting to start. And then after racking my brain a little bit, I kind of had some bad news. I remembered riding in probably about 10 degree weather. I rode with my buddy and it was almost dark, and I was going home, or I was on my way home, and like 20 seconds after starting to head home, my bike started the telltale sputter, and that's not a good thing whenever you're like 15 minutes ride from home, which would have been an eternity pushing this thing. I would not have made it. It was already dark. My phone was decently charged, but nowhere near enough to make that kind of walk. My buddy, he had just left a little bit ago. He lived like a mile down the road, and he wasn't even home yet whenever I tried to call him. Was how fast it just that I run out of gas. Why I didn't run out with like while he was there is beyond me. I guess sometimes you get lucky and sometimes you don't, and this was a time that I didn't. But I did end up getting a hold of him. He made it home and checked his phone and saw that I had called him, and he did tell me if I had any issues, because I told him that I didn't know if I would make it, and he said that if I had any problems to just go ahead and call him. So he saw that I had tried to call him 3 or 4 times and got kind of worried and called me back, and I explained the situation, and he talked to his grandpa, which doesn't exactly much like me. So he gets a hold of his grandpa. His grandpa says, fine, if he's stuck, I'll go ahead and help him out. So he gave me like half a gallon of gas, which was plenty enough to get me home. But it was dark, and I didn't have a headlight. The front of the bike does not have a light yet. I'm working on trying to get an LED light mount pod on it. But I rode the bike home in 10 degree weather and going 20-25 miles an hour home. Made it probably 0, if not below freezing, or below 0 real feel or whatever. But in bad news, that means that this bike can run in temperatures that I tried to start it and it didn't. I got to thinking what I think that it might be, and I made a video on this before, but it never, like, I never really sent it out. I never posted it, I guess. I tried to edit it because it was very long and the editing app kind of crashed. I was trying to test it out because I don't really want to spend much money on an editing app or software if it's going to be awful. So I think what might be the issue is something to do with my reeds. I took them out before and I switched them out with a used set that was in much better condition but still used. And I don't know if I didn't, and I guess I'm getting kind of ahead of myself. I think something, whether it's the reeds are cracked, or I think that the reeds are the problem, and this piston top that had the gouging, I'm thinking that one of the screws in the reed block holding the reeds on may have backed out, and if that is what happened, then there's definitely going to be air getting by the reeds. I don't really know how to kick it over and check to see if it's blowing back. I think just honestly the easiest method here is to take the carburetor off, and then get to the bolts holding the reed boot, carburetor boot valve thing on. That piece right there, if you can see it decently well. So, I mean, I can probably do this pretty quick because I've done it like 1,000 times. Take the carburetor out. And there we go. Rebuild kit for this carburetor is around $30, something like that. I might get a rebuild kit for it because this is a stupid expensive carburetor. Now they make, I don't know who exactly makes it, but Wrangler Star made a video about a carburetor that kind of self-adjusts as you ride, and I think that would be really cool, but they are very expensive. Way too expensive for this farm boy, so YouTube ain't paying me yet. So that's out of the question, but oh no, not this again. I had one stupid bolt that wants to try to pop thread, or pop the top of it. It wants to try to strip and roll, which is no bueno. Go ahead and take the clamp for the carburetor off. I don't really know how long my phone battery is going to last. It was on 40 something, whenever I unplugged it. So if it dies, I'm just going to post what I have. And hope it's good. I want to get the result though, to see if there is a missing screw. Good grief. I hate having that one stupid one. I guess gonna try to find my vice grips and break that loose with the vice grips. That'll make it really easy. I'll be right back. Okay, channel locks. Save the day. Could not find the vice grips, but what I did last time was the piece wasn't tight, like the bolt wasn't as tight, and I could just put the socket on it, turn the whole thing, and it loosened up. This time it didn't. But my battery's getting pretty low. I've been searching for about 20 minutes. Moment of truth. Is the reed block the problem? Does not seem to be. Oh boy. Okay, so just little tiny bits of light shining through. Every one of the screws is still there. Maybe carb jetting, or not like carb jetting, but carb settings. Maybe I have it too lean or too rich, because this reed block, I don't know if you can see real well, but it's good. Might be running it too rich because it smells very, very strong of gasoline. So, okay, I'm just going to make a quick comment. Finding a place for your lights is the worst part about working on a motorcycle. Like, I've had to fish this thing up through holes, and it's so stupid. But I mean, I don't see anything wrong with this reed block. It's got gasoline all over it. I haven't tried to start this thing in a while. guess the only other thing to do is just toss it back in. And one quick question: if y'all like actually watch the videos, comment and give me your information or what you know about this little like spacer. Yeah, I've got to be running. It's got to be too rich or something, because that is caked in gasoline. So we didn't find the problem, but I think we found the problem at the same time, which makes me very, very happy, because I really didn't want to have to buy new reed valves, because that's like quite a bit on top of having to, well, wanting to buy the parts. Maybe that piece was also backwards a little bit. Yeah, honestly, guys, I think, wow, I feel really stupid and almost don't want to tell you guys. Okay, so the way that this is, that I'm looking at, this is how the block's supposed to go in. There's this little bevel, you can see it right there, and I don't know why I didn't realize this. This little piece right here, this little spacer, has this little notch. It has to go in like this. And I guess I just saw it says DX right there. I guess I just looked at that and got that right side up. But if you look at this, and I don't know why I didn't pay attention, you look at this and it's very offset like this is, and if you look, they are offset together. The carburetor comes out this side, like it comes out to the side. I had it I don't know, like that. You can see down in the bottom, that is that block. But like this, it's not there. I very well may have just had the reed block upside down, and it wasn't getting enough air. And it's not a huge deal, and it started on ether. I mean, maybe that was it, but put it in right. Find my scratched up, janked up bolt. It goes in the easiest to get to part. It was easy to get to from here with the baby locks. I'll put it back in that one. And we bolt her back in. I really hope that's the problem. It kind of started acting up before. And I changed the read block, and I recorded it, but never really, I tried to edit it because there was a few spots in it where I was really like focusing and didn't really talk much. So I was going to try to edit some of that stuff out instead of just posting 10-15 seconds of complete silence and then a minute or two of talking and then another bit of silence. But the editing software, something happened to it. I was almost done with the editing, and I can't remember, OpenShare maybe? No, it had the planet. It was the world or something was the kind of logo for it. I think it was Open something. I tried Lightworks. I did not like Lightworks. And I was just trying out free versions because one thing that I absolutely hate spending money on is something that I don't even know if I'm going to like it or not. Which I'm sure I'm not the only one that's like that, but I hate spending money on something that I honestly might not even like. So it's I always like having free trials. But it was once I started to get used to it too. I was figuring out really how it works and was getting the hang of the cutting, which pretty much was all I wanted to do. I didn't really want to add no fancy musics or nothing like that to it. And yes, I said musics on purpose. So I was getting to the hang of it, and it crashed. It said something about an error, and that it crapped the bed and all that, and that it was no longer something. I don't know. I didn't really read it. Well, I did. I just don't remember. I just kind of very much hope that this fixes my issue. I'll have to find out what the stock, or not stock, but like the beginning thread outs for this thing is. Again, that's something that I did know at one time, and I guess hopes and wishes of never having to work on that part of it again. I kind of forgot about it. Well, forgot yet. Alright, let me go to the other side. 24 minutes in, not terrible bad. So, let's just hope that this fixes it. I do have some gas, like a gallon or two. I can mix up, but I have to have fluid for the transmission and hope that that doesn't leak. No, I haven't tested that out yet. Then I have to fill it with antifreeze. I pretty much just haven't filled this thing up with fluids because I just kind of want to be as sure as possible, because pretty much if you don't have a perfectly clean container, as soon as you drain the antifreeze out, you pretty much have to throw it away. And it's another thing I hate doing. Come on. Having big hands does not help in a matter like this. Pretty much find any position you can. Oh, great, a foot cramp. That's amazing. Okay. But if this does fix it, then I'll feel a whole lot better about the handlebars and stuff. Because the handlebars are easily the most expensive thing I've ever bought for any dirt bike that I've had. I mean, I've put $105 into. I put $105 into my TTR, but that was on several things: brakes and air filter and even a tire. Daggone, I miss having the really cheap tires. Not so much anymore. Okay, so got this side snubbed down. Now let's get this side. Oh. Gotta love the old wrenches that don't bite and they just waller back and forth. That's just the greatest thing ever. Okay, don't you dare. Okay, that one's tight. I ain't even gonna fool with that one with the wrench. So straight to channel pliers. Go ahead and give her 3 grunts. Yeah, okay, there we go. That's 3 grunts. Good to go. Okay, 29 minutes. We might even be able to... Oh, jeebers. We check battery. 18%. Really. Might be able to throw the carburetor in it real quick. Kind of have it all taken apart and back together all in one video. And the only time I cut was to find a screwdriver, or not screwdriver, but a pair of vice grips, which in the end I never ended up finding, but it still all worked out. Okay. get me some light down in that way, like that. Put this in like that, and then, oh crap, I almost messed up, y'all. I almost messed up. Thank you, Lord, for not letting me do that. Yeah, that would have been a very, very aggravating time. It was actually going on really quick, too. Let's see if I can perfectly recreate that. Let's see what that looks like. There we go again with the, can't find a spot for the light. Oh, is that it? Are we good on the... Yep. Okay. 32 minutes. Hitting 32 minutes tightening up the bolts. Well, the screws, if I could see them. And this is pretty much where I left off, or I started the video, so we pretty much took the motor down to the reed block, which most people, flash thing, most people can do that pretty quick, but before my phone dies and completely takes all of the half-an-hour video that I made, I'm gonna go ahead and end the video. If you've watched all of this, I sincerely thank you. I hope you had fun. I honestly love doing this. It gets a little tedious whenever it's the same thing, but I guess you gotta be a special breed of stupid to love working on motorcycles, but if so, I'm that special breed of stupid.